Good evening. Tonight we shall be looking into 3 extraordinary cases where kids remembered their past lives. This is something that has become more and more common in recent times. However, I decided to narrow it down to 3 that I found exceptionally interesting. It is also important to note that Tucker, who made this research his main focus of work, has acknowledged that these memories from children seem to stop around the age of 6 to 7, around the same time they start to develop more mentally and spend more time at school and making new memories. Number 1. Our first case is a boy named Sam Taylor. He was born 18 months after his paternal grandfather died. He first began recalling details of a past life when he was just over a year old. When he was a year and a half years old, he looked up at his father, who was changing his diaper, and said, "When I was your age, I used to change your diapers." He began talking more about having been his grandfather. He eventually told details of his grandfather's life that his parents felt certain he could not have learned through normal means, such as the fact that his grandfather's sister had been murdered, and that his grandmother had used a food processor to make milkshakes for his grandfather every day at the end of his life. I find it pretty remarkable myself, thinking that an 18-month-old child could even conjure up such sentences, especially in such detail. Never mind the unsettling coincidences. This case still baffles a lot of psychologists to this day. Number 2. Ryan's story began when he was 4 years old, when he was experiencing frequent horrible nightmares. Once he turned 5, he made an announcement to his mother. He told her, "I used to be someone else." He would often talk about going home to Hollywood and would beg his mother to take him there. He told her detailed stories about meeting stars like Rita Hayworth, dancing in Broadway productions, and working for an agency where people would frequently change their names. He even remembered the name of the street he used to live on had the word rock in it. Ryan's mother, Cindy, said that his stories are so detailed and they were so extensive that it just wasn't like a child could have made it up. Cindy decided to check out some books about Hollywood from her local library, thinking that maybe something inside would catch her son's attention. And it did. Cindy said that once she found the below picture of the man Ryan claims to have been in his past life, everything changed. They decided to seek Tucker, the psychologist's help, who took on the case and started his research. After only approximately 2 weeks, a Hollywood film archivist was able to confirm the identity of the man in the photo. The picture was from a film titled Night After Night, and the man was Marty Martin, who had been a movie extra and then later became a powerful Hollywood agent before passing away in 1964. Martin had in fact danced on Broadway, worked at an agency where stage names were often created for new clients, travelled overseas to Paris, and lived in 825 North Roxbury Drive in Beverly Hills. These were all details that Ryan was able to communicate to Tucker before they learned the identity of who he described. For example, Ryan knew that the address had rocks in it. Ryan was also able to recall how many children Martin had and how many times he was married. More remarkable still is the fact that Ryan knew Martin had 2 sisters, but Martin's own daughter did not. Ryan also remembers an African American maid. Marty and his wife employed several. There are just a few of the 55 incredible facts that Ryan can remember from his previous life as Marty Martin, though as he ages, his memories become increasingly dim. Number 3. James Linegar. At the time of this case, James was a 4-year-old boy from Louisiana. and he believed he was once a World War II pilot who had been shot down over Iwo Jima, an island that United States fought to capture in 1945. His parents first realised this was when James started to have nightmares, waking up and screaming. Airplane crash and plane on fire. He knew details about the World War II aircraft that would be impossible for a youngster to know. For example, when his mother referred to an object on the bottom of a model plane as a bomb, she was corrected by James, who informed her that it was a drop tank. In another instance, he and his parents were watching a documentary, and the narrator called the Japanese plane a Zero, when James insisted that it was a Tony. In both cases, James turned out to be right. James also insisted that in his previous life he had flown off a ship named the Notama, which, as the Linnegers discovered, was a World War II aircraft carrier. James said that the previous name was also James, and shockingly, in the USS Natoma Bay squadron, there was a pilot named James Huston, who had been killed in action over the Pacific Ocean. Dr. Tucker obtained additional documents for several of James Linegar's statements, and they were made before anyone in the family had even heard of James Huston or the USS Natoma Baby. Ask yourself, how could a 2-year-old in Louisiana remember being a World War II pilot shot down over the Pacific? The biggest skeptic of this case was the boy's father, who remarked that he was the original skeptic, but the information James gave us was so striking and unusual that if someone wants to look at the facts and challenge them, they're welcome to examine everything we have. What are my thoughts on reincarnation, you ask? Well, I personally wholeheartedly believe that reincarnation is real, but I don't think it's the only option for what takes place after death. I believe some souls can reincarnate, as we've seen above, into another life. I also believe some can reincarnate onto other planets, as beings we would consider to be alien. Furthermore, I believe reincarnation is just one option for a soul. Perhaps they have the option to travel to other dimensions and experience a life there, or to completely forgo reincarnation and experience life in the non-physical realm, free from a physical body. Perhaps a soul must continue to reincarnate until certain lessons are learned to move on to another level. I would love to know what you think about all of this. Do you think it carries some truth behind it or none at all? Let me know down in the comments below, and leave a like if you enjoyed. I really appreciate it. Thank you.